So, super excited to have just met you a second ago. I've been a huge fan of your co-founder for a long time. I really love the product. I had my chance to hold a bunch of bottles this week as we were getting ready for the show. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico, so I've got an affinity for tequila and things from that region. Please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your brand.
Absolutely. So I'm Moy. I'm co-founder of Casa Lumbre Spirits and also a co-founder of Almave, Blue Agave Spirit. And excited to be here and excited to talk about our beautiful brand.
So you're the tequila genius. I'm getting a little bit of an accent. Where are you from?
Mexico City, born
Fantastic.
and raised in Mexico City. Have been in the industry for 30 years now already. Started with tequila.
Yes.
Then we created a bunch of amazing Mexican spirits, mezcals, tequilas, liqueurs from Mexico, a Mexican whiskey even. And one thing led to the other, and we're now in a new category for us, which is a non-alcoholic agave spirit, which is very exciting for us to cross this new frontier.
Yeah, well, it's funny. So as a kid from Guadalajara, I grew up in Guadalajara, it was interesting to see a non-alcoholic tequila, and I thought, what's this all about? And I mixed it with a little club soda, and I thought, well, this is a really complex, interesting flavor, and had none of the sort of drawbacks of a regular tequila, but still gave me those complex flavors and interesting feelings. How do you get to a non-alcoholic tequila?
So the answer is we've been in the strong connection with the blue agave for the last 30 years, right? So we started with tequila, and we knew the plant we knew best is the blue agave. So then when
it's a huge plant too. I mean, if you have not seen it, it's the size of a Volkswagen.
Yeah, and it takes 8 to 10 years to grow, accumulating all of these beautiful aromas and flavors.
Yes.
And we understood not only the plant but also the process of how to make tequila. We are distillers, So then when Luis approached us and he says, I'm missing my tequila experience because for his personal reasons, he can no longer drink alcohol and perform to the level he needs to perform.
Top level global athlete, so I get that.
Exactly. So then he came to us, and basically we knew everything we wanted to achieve in our flavor profile because we knew the plant and the tequila experience that we had in our previous journeys in the spirits. So we said, let us give it a shot. We think we know what to do, and we created the first agave spirit that is actually created by tequila distillers.
Yes.
If you look at our competitors, it's all fantastic, but it's very different from what we do.
Well, a lot of it's done with flavors. It's not done with blue agave.
It's done with water and additives in the vast majority out there. And we were the ones that said, no, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. And it has to be based in authenticity because, our partner also was seeking for that authenticity, and we said, okay, we're going to try to do a non-alcoholic tequila in a tequila distillery with blue agave, and that was a challenge on its own.
That sounds like a high bar.
Yeah, but fortunately the result is there because agave is packed with flavors, so you don't need to seek outside of agave to reach amazing flavors. And we decided to skip one step of the process of tequila, which is fermentation. So we do everything else exactly the same. We roast the agaves, we mill them, we harvest them in the fields, and of course then we distill them. By skipping the fermentation, we don't generate alcohol, but we are able to generate all of these amazing arrays of aromas that agaves can give you.
So then it gives you, I don't know enough about distilling, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like then it's a very young tequila.
Well, it's like a blanco. Like in blancos tequilas, you get exactly the same. Then if you were to put tequila in barrels, then you would be aged and we call a reposado or an añejo. In our case, we have two variants. We have the blanco and the amber. And the
amber bottle is gorgeous, by the way.
It's gorgeous.
It looks like it's gold.
And we're trying to replicate exactly the experience of a reposado or an añejo with the amber by including not only the hydrolate of the blanco that I just described, but also we incorporate a hydrolate of wood. So that gives you the complement of the wood and the agave that is typically flavored in the reposados or the añejos.
So you've been in the tequila business, I'm guessing, all your life, or at least your adult life. I imagine you know a lot of people that know their way around a tequila. What's the reception been from your sort of colleagues in the industry to a non-alcoholic tequila?
So
how are the tequila snobs taking it?
Exactly. Let me take it a step back. So tequila is a protected denomination. So that's why we have to be very clear always when we talk about Almave, we talk about a blue agave spirit and not a tequila, because as it is a protected denomination.
Oh, so there's laws around how you can use the word.
Yes, it's defined.
Like champagne in France.
And that definition includes the alcohol volume.
Okay.
So that to be able to be called it tequila, you have to be between 35% ABV and 55% ABV.
Got it.
So we are a blue agave spirit that
Because
is
I like
an
the words
alternative
blue
to tequila.
agave spirit better.
Yeah.
It sounds elevated.
It sounds elevated, and it also clarifies to the consumer that the consumer is clear that what they're drinking there is not alcohol. It's a different experience. It's by the same exact raw material that we use for tequila, but it's a really beautiful execution of the flavors and aromas of the same raw materials that produce tequila, but we cannot call it tequila by definition.
Got it. So you and I both said the word Lewis without saying kind of who we're talking about. Your co-founder is Lewis Hamilton. How did you and Lewis Hamilton come together on this project?
So Lewis was looking to develop his social gatherings with a spirit that he loved historically, which is tequila. Because of his level of performance, he couldn't be, using tequila anymore because he needs to be performing top notch. So he said, "Who are the most renowned company that can produce, this non-alcoholic blue agave spirit or tequila alternative that are already in the market?" And he came to us. So he looked
Incredible.
for us, and that was an amazing experience. And he accelerated what we already had envisioned, doing more stuff around blue agave. So when Luis came to us, we said, "Luis, we are the right ones."
Suddenly
to
makes
make
more sense too, right?
Exactly.
That's
And
interesting.
having him in the equation, it was just such a perfect match. I mean, he drives a car. There's no better match than Lewis Hamilton for a non-alcoholic product.
And he looks pretty good on a magazine cover. Like he's a pretty
Absolutely.
handsome guy.
He's
He's a pretty handsome guy. Sort of the last question I have for you, because I'm so fascinated by it, is I love that bottle. Like that bottle just feels good in your hand. It feels premium. Tell me about the development of the bottle.
So I have to give credit to Danny, my other co-founder.
Okay.
He's in charge of all the product design.
Shout out Danny.
Exactly. Danny, the way we do the process, and this is very important to understand why the product came to be, is we always first start with the liquid, right? And once we had the liquid done, then we started with the process of the bottle.
God, so the liquid tells the story of what the bottle should look like.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And then, of course, when you have somebody like Lewis Hamilton with his eye for design and fashion and co-working with Danny in creating that amazing bottle, it ended up being very beautiful pack.
Incredible. I wish you guys a ton of success. I think the product is absolutely great. I love this category. I quit drinking 16 years ago. So to see all these new options coming in with sophisticated flavors and things like that is really incredible. And I thank you for that.
No, and you know what? Now that you say that, we didn't quite understand at the beginning who are going to be our clients and customers. Now we see is people that don't drink, but also people that drink.
Yeah.
That they want to take a break for a month, a week, an hour, and they just
It's funny to think about your audience because there's only 20 drivers on the grid. You gotta have more customers than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, fantastic, man. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. I really appreciate it. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
rest of the show.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome.